Hello students, this is your English teacher Neelam Bajaj. Today we are going to take the first chapter of the book Flamingo. The chapter's name is The Last Lesson, written by Alphonse Daudet. Yesterday we have read some part of the chapter, so let's take a quick recap of the chapter and then we will go further. So in the beginning you have seen that France was a student in Mr. M. Hamel's class at a school in Alsace. The country, France, was now controlled by the Prussians. One day, a notice came from Berlin, Germany, informing that French would no longer be used in classrooms. That means the French would no longer be taught in the classrooms of France. All classes would now be taught in German because now the France was under the control of Germany. These two districts of France, Alsace and Lorraine, were under the control of Germany. So their order came about teaching German only. Mr. M. Hamel, who was the French teacher of France, told his class that this was his last day of teaching. Everyone was surprised and sad to hear this because they never thought of this thing in their imagination. Mr. M. Hamel told the students that they had to study hard and keep their French language alive. So basically, we see that the chapter emphasizes the importance of the mother tongue for everyone and the need to realize the fact that it is a language which gives us our identity, respect, and freedom. Now we are going further in the chapter. So I'm taking from the very last paragraph once again as what Franz was thinking about his teacher and his language. So I'm starting the reading now. My last French lesson. Why? I hardly knew how to write. I should never learn anymore. So he was thinking he hardly still knew how to write French and he was told never to read French again. So he was very surprised and shocked. He was thinking, I should never learn anymore. I must stop there. Then, oh, how sorry I was for not learning my lessons, for seeking birds' eggs, or going sliding on the Saar. Saar, as I told you yesterday, is a river in France. My books that had seemed such a nuisance a while ago, so heavy to carry. My grammar and my history of the saints were old friends now that I could not give up, and M. Hamel too. So he was thinking all these things that the books which were looking very heavy to him a while ago, now they were very dear to him after knowing that now he is not going to read that books again. And towards his teacher M. Hamel also, he was feeling a kind of attachment. So the idea that he was going away, that I should never see him again, made me forget all about his ruler and how cranky, how strange he was. Poor man, it was in honor of this last lesson that he had put on his fine Sunday clothes. So now Franz understood why he put on his fine Sunday clothes, which he used to wear on special occasions or on Sunday only. And now I understood why the old man of the village was sitting there, why the old men of the village were sitting there in the back of the room. It was because they were sorry too that they had not gone to school more. It was their way of thanking our master for his 40 years of faithful service and of showing their respect for the country that was theirs no more. So now Franz understood everything, why the old people of the village came to his class that day and everything about their thinking. So they came to give thanks to Mr. M. Hamel, their French teacher, said that how faithfully he served for 40 years. While I was thinking all this, I heard my name called. It was my turn to recite. Mr. M. Hamil was telling him to recite the chapter and poem which was in French language. What would I not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule for the participles all through, very loud and clear, and without one mistake? But I got mixed up on the first words and stood there, holding onto my desk, my heart beating and not daring to look up. So, what we see in this paragraph of the chapter, what Franz is thinking about his language. When his name was called to recite the chapter, he was thinking, what would I not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule for the participles all through? That till now he was making many kinds of excuses not to understand the language or many things, and he wanted to read his language very clearly and loudly and without one mistake, he was thinking. But I got mixed up as he tried to start reading. He got mixed up on the first words and stood there. That means he was not able to read a single word properly in the language because he never did any hard work on learning this language properly. Holding on to my desk, my heart beating and not daring to look up. So this gave him a feeling of shame and regret that till now he was not able to read his language, which is going to be taken from them from the next day. I heard Emma Hamel say to me, I won't scold you, little Franz, you must feel bad enough. See how it is. Every day we have said to ourselves, Bah, I have plenty of time, I will learn it tomorrow. So he's actually trying to make him understand that you see yourself. I'm feeling sad and sorry for you. You must be feeling bad for yourself. That always, every day, you made excuses to you that you have plenty of time, you will learn it tomorrow. That means you were trying to put off again and again the things to next day. And now you see where we have come out. Ah, that's the great trouble with Alsace. She puts off learning till tomorrow. That means now the their districts will be devoid of learning their language from tomorrow. Now those fellows out there will have the right to say to you, how is it you pretend to be Frenchmen and yet you can neither speak nor write your own language? So M. Hamel was telling Franz that now German will get the chance to tell you that you called yourself a Frenchman and you are not able to speak a single word properly in your language. But you are not the worst, poor little Franz. We have all a great deal to reproach ourselves with. So here M. Hamel was trying to say that not only you are there who is in fault, we all are like that. We all should regret to what we are doing every day. We are postponing, we are putting off to next day everything, and see what we are facing now. Next, M. Hamel is saying, your parents were not anxious enough to have you learn. They preferred to put you to work on a farm or at the mills so as to have a little more money. See, here he was blaming the parents also, that they never tried to be alert about their child's study and they preferred to put him to work on farm instead, or to work on mills instead, to have some more money. But they never thought of making him learn his language or other things properly. And he was blaming himself also by saying, and I have sent you to water my flowers instead of learning your lessons. And when I wanted to go fishing, did did I not just give you a holiday? So this was his regret, Mr. M. Hamel's regret, that he himself was not aware about teaching him the language properly. And when he saw that Franz was not so willing to learn the language, he sent him to water the flowers, or sometimes he himself went for fishing instead of teaching them, or giving them more revision. Then, from one thing to another, M. Hamel went on to talk of the French language. This way, he started telling them many things, what negligations they performed to ignore their language, and now how they are regretting. Then, from one thing to another, M. Hamel went on to talk of the French language, saying that it was the most beautiful language in the world, the clearest, the most logical, that we must guard it among us and never forget it. Because when a people are enslaved, that means when they are under somebody's control, he is now telling them the importance of their own mother tongue, that we must guard it among us and never forget it, because when people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. He means to say, as long as they are taking care of saving their mother tongue, or if they know everything about their mother tongue, it is like a key to their prison of enslavement. Then he opened a grammar and read us our lesson. I was amazed to see how well I understood it. For the first time, Franz realized that he was able to understand his language very easily. Never he thought of this, because before that he never paid attention to this very seriously. And that day, when he realized that he was going to lose his language forever, he was very attentive towards understanding his language. And for the first time, he realized that he was getting his language very properly. All he said seemed so easy, so easy. I think too that I had never listened so carefully, and that he had never explained everything with so much patience. It seemed almost as if the poor man wanted to give us all he knew before going away, and to put it all into our heads at one stroke. So that's what the Franz thinking was. What he was thinking, that he never listened so carefully before this language, and he was thinking about his teacher also, that he had never explained everything with so much patience, and it was looking to him like almost if the poor man, that is poor man word is used for Mr. M. Hamel, if he wanted to give us all it was looking like he wanted to give them all he knew before going away, and he wanted to put everything in their heads at one stroke, at one go. After the grammar, we had a lesson in writing. That day, M. Hamel had new copies for us, written in a beautiful round hand. So he was telling everything about the love for the language of and the love of Mr. Hamel for the language, and he was telling the efforts of he is telling here the efforts of Mr. M. Hamel for the language, what he did. He brought new copies for everyone to write, and in beautiful writing, what was written? France, Alsace, France, Alsace. They looked like little flags floating everywhere in the schoolroom. The copies he is talking about looked like little flags of France. They were looking floating everywhere in the schoolroom. As they were given to everyone, they were looking like small flags floating in the air, hung from the rod at the top of our desks. He was feeling like the copies are representing the flag of France on everybody's desk. You ought to have seen how everyone set to work. He means to say that we should see how everybody was very serious about doing the work given by Mr. Franz so carefully, and how quiet it was. How quietly all were reading and studying and learning very attentively. The only sound was the scratching of the pens over the paper. Once some beetles flew in, beetles, small flies, flew in, but nobody paid any attention to them. Everybody was very attentive in doing the work, that they were not paying attention to any other thing in the classroom, even the beetles, not even the littlest ones who worked right on tracing their fish hooks, as if that was French too. So, not even the littlest, the smallest children were also doing their work so seriously, as if they were trying to catch the fish, and they were very attentive to catch the fish. This way, they were learning French, as if the fish were also French language. On the roof, the pigeons cooed very low, and I thought to myself, will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? This is the key note of the chapter. This line, will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? So here the author wants to say that when Franz was looking to pigeons in his classroom, he was thinking that any person in authority can put you in force to follow his rules, but you can never force the nature to go in your way. Nature will go in its own way always. Whenever I looked up from my writing, I saw M. Hamel sitting motionless in his chair and gazing first at one thing, then at another, as if he wanted to fix in his mind just how everything looked in that little schoolroom. So here we see that Franz was very observant on that day. He was observing very carefully his teacher also while writing, that Mr. M. Hamel was that day sitting motionless. He was not moving from here to there. He was sitting in his chair and looking continuously, sometimes at one thing, then at another, as if he wanted to fix in his mind just how everything looked in that little schoolroom. As if he wanted to record all the scenes of the classroom in his mind forever. That's all for today. In the next part, we will take the remaining part of the chapter. Till then, thank you so much.